Now, we have been saying here in the Church of God since the year 2000. We started the website in 1999. We started to produce videos. And in 2000, we have been saying since then till now, that the European Union is going to break apart. We have been saying that NATO is going to collapse. And how do we know this? Because we see it in the Bible prophecies. Now you can look at our video channel, you can go to our YouTube channel, and you can search for the 3 videos I did on what is the prophetic beast of prophecy. And we go through all the prophecies in detail, and we show you that we are at the 6th head of the beast of Revelation, the 17th chapter. And the Apostle John was projected forward into time to our day today, and he said that the 6th head, one is, and that's our time right now. And they are portrayed as mountains. Now mountains rise, peak, and fall. Now it began, this 6th head, with the Italian and German nationalism that took place in the 1870s with King Victor Emmanuel and William I of Prussia. And these nations rose and peaked during the time of World War II, the Axis powers between Hitler and Mussolini and the Vatican, that Axis power that took place in World War II. And it was a world dominating power, and the Allies came and the Russians came and broke up that alliance, and now we're on the downward slide of that mountain called the EU, the European Economic Community, which is really a Nazi Plan B. As we have said, and as we have proved in the booklet that I'm going to offer you in today's program, we have been saying that the European Economic Union is actually a Nazi Plan B, and that before Hitler shot himself, they were planning a European Economic Union. This was a Nazi Plan B, and when Germany fell, the old Nazis there took off their Nazi uniforms and put on business suits and started the European Economic Community.
Well, life's been pretty good. Summer home, yacht, vacation when I want it. Some little kid sure spent a lot of time with that. Too bad they never last. Yeah, a lot of things are like that. Kids are grown now, and Sammy and I aren't getting any younger. Is this all there is?
You can know the answer to this age-old question. What is the purpose of human life? Download your free copy at britishisrael.ca.
Germany is going to regain total power in Europe, as we see in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. Book of Revelation, 17th chapter. Here it says, and let's start in verse 9. It says, "Here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth." So the woman sits on the 7 mountains. When we see this back in Daniel, the 7th chapter, where the little horn, which is the woman, plucks out 3 by the roots and then reigns with the last 7. And these horns are kingdoms. And it says the same thing here about the mountains. It says here, verse 10, "And there are 7, and they are 7 kings." So the mountains are kings, or kingdoms. The king represents his kingdom. 5 are fallen, and 5 have fallen with, Otto the Great, Napoleon, Charlemagne, Justinian, and the Habsburgs. 5 are fallen. 1 is, and that is our time right now, the 6th head. It peaked during the time of Hitler and Mussolini, and now we're on the downward slide, and we're in the EU, the European Economic Community, which is a Nazi blueprint, a Nazi idea implemented on Europe by the old Nazis when they took off their uniforms, went into power, and implemented the European Economic community. So one is, and we're on the downward slide, and the other is not yet come. This is the last resurrection of the old Roman Empire, and when it cometh, he continues but a short space. Now notice this last head of the beast, this last resurrection in verse 12. It says, and the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings, and which have, now this corresponds with Daniel the 2nd chapter of the 10 toes. At the bottom of the image of Daniel 2, we see 10 toes mixed with miry clay, which we'll get into in a minute. These are the same 10 kings, the 10 toes, which have received no kingdom as of yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And who is that beast? In Old Testament prophecies, we see that that beast is Germany, the Assyrian. And we have identified the Assyrians today as Germany. And you can read online our booklet, Germany in Prophecy, and you can get full detail on that. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength to the beast. And then it says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords, King of kings, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. So this last resurrection of the Roman Empire, this 7th head, after the 6th head is going to collapse, which is the EU and NATO. When they collapse, the 7th head is going to rise, and it's going to mix itself with the miry clay. There are 2 phases. There is the potter's clay phase that we read of in verse 42. Then there is the miry clay phase. The potter's clay phase is NATO and the EU, the 6th head of the beast. This miry clay phase is the 7th and final resurrection of the Holy Roman Empire. And we have identified these miry clay nations as the Black African, North African nations. It says here, whereas thou sawest, verse 43 of Daniel 2, iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Now it's interesting that all these migrants from Africa are going into Europe. Europe is up in arms. They don't know what to do with these refugees. They don't even have room. They don't even have the money to tend to these refugees. They don't know what to do. Are they going to start European colonization in Africa once again? This is what the Bible seems to indicate here. It says that they, the iron, shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. That's the Black African nations. Are they going to colonize Europe again so that they can bring these refugees back and take care of them and have this mixture of the iron nations with the miry clay nations? This is what the Bible seems to indicate. But they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with miry clay. So these alliances are going to be loose, and they are going to stay together, but they are going to be very, very loose, and of course they're not going to agree with everything due to culture, religion, and so on. And it says in verse 44, and in the days of these kings, the 10 kings, this corresponds to the 10 kings in Revelation the 17th chapter. In the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. Obviously, this is the second coming of Jesus Christ, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. That is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Exactly what we read here in Revelation, the 17th chapter. So the 6th head is coming to an end. We have been saying since 2000 that the European Union is going to break apart. At the time when all these so-called televangelists have been saying that the European economic community is the coming beast of prophecy, the last resurrection of the Roman Empire. And we have been saying since 2000, we started the website in 1999, but in 2000 we said, when we started the videos, that the European Union is going to collapse. The end of the 6th head, and then out of this chaos is going to come the 7th and final resurrection of the Holy Roman Empire. It says the woman sits on all 7 mountains. It'll make one more treaty with the beast, and it is at that time that it will be the final head of this Roman Empire beast, and this will fight Christ at his coming.